We could talk about music. What do you want to talk about? Music is kind of a broad subject.
Well, I mean, considering he was just talking about guitars.
He as in Jordan.
Jordan, yes. And I just set up my drum set for the first time in years.
Like a proper drum set, not your electronic drum set.
I don't
Granted, those are pretty fucking badass. For the reason, I mean, I'm definitely more of a fan of analog, for sure.
By the way, this is the Exhibition of Speed podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever this podcast may find you. It is I, Gavin.
I, Justin.
And I'm Jordan.
Cool. Anyways, drum sets.
Yes. Great. So I'm all a fan for analog drum sets, which I'm assuming is what you have.
Yes.
However, I think digital drum sets also have a really cool place in certain aspects because you can literally assign any sound you want to whatever you are hitting.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, what would typically be the bass drum, you could have that be assigned to a clap if you really wanted to. And no, not the disease.
Yeah.
I mean, probably that too, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to really try to be getting that from a foot movement.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
I mean, do they use a lot of those digital drum sets in like EDM and shit too, or is that
not so much EDM?
Well,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was saying not so much EDM. At least from what I've seen, I just actually went and saw one of my like super good friends that I grew up with. He was playing at Soundwell here in town, which is across the street from Salt Palace.
Okay, cool, yeah.
And he's on tour right now, and he went and he was playing there, and he's like, yeah, I'm in town, like come check out my like stuff. And I hadn't seen him in years, so we went and saw him, and he's actually he lives in Bishop, California, which is actually on our way slightly through when we go to LA. And so he was saying, like, if you guys need a place to stay on the way through, I'll pop on through. But I'm like, well, at that point, we're just going to push through to LA. But I mean, it was cool for him to offer. But, like, he's always been one of those people that's been, like, kind of a genius when it comes to this stuff. Because, like, he is one of the only people I've ever met that's been able to, like, properly equalize bass with, like, any other tone. Like, his stuff is, especially as far as like EQ goes, is like kind of blows my mind. But anyways, he doesn't use anything like that. He usually at most he uses like a synthesizer and like some kind of like drum pad. So like,
cool.
For example, like Native Instruments makes this thing called Machine, which is what I have, and they essentially have like all these other functions, but what it's based around is like these 16 pads, and they're just like square, like 1 inch by 1 inch pads.
Yeah.
Then you can assign whatever sound you want.
And that's seen a lot of that.
What DJs use.
And I have seen DJs use those with drumsticks. I've seen them hit them with their hands, but I've also seen drumsticks used as well.
The church that Cassie and I go to, they have they use a digital drum set as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to finally barge my way into here because I haven't ranted about this.
Okay.
First, there's my drum set.
Oh, holy fuck. All of the setup.
Okay, yeah, so it's 8-piece, snare, bass, 6 toms, cymbals galore. Yeah, I don't actually have, ironically, for some reason, a picture of the front of it because I'm always behind it, so I just don't have
Sure.
I just don't have a picture of the
So
front
where
of
is this picture taken from? It looks like it's on a stage.
That was in the venue.
Okay.
Back in...
I'm assuming you used to be in a band.
A long ways ago, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why, but I was just envisioning like maybe a few toms, a snare drum, bass, or like the kick drum,
hi-hat,
and then like a few hats and a cymbal. Like
nope, it was a little more than that, and it still is a little more than that. But
you're like fucking damn near Motley Crue over here.
Heel pert motherfucker.
Yeah.
Long story short, was
you turn upside down when you drum too?
Not quite. The long story short was it was great while it lasted, but it didn't last as long as it was great. It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But No, so with the electric versus analog drum sets thing, there's actually some interesting things you can do with it. Because I agree, electric drum sets are cool because they have a place, with
absolutely.
All different types of music and being able to do anything you want with them and being able to even practice quietly.
Yeah, that's another thing
that's
too.
the real perk.
Because you can just plug in your headphones and just like mash on these things, and like you could not even hear me on the other side of this wall.
Yeah, because any guitar, any bass, you can unplug and still pluck around, and you may not get the full sound you would get out of an amp, but you get the idea.
Well, yeah, or you could take an electric guitar and plug your headphones into an amp.
Yep.
And then just hear yourself that way.
Yep.
Right.
But with acoustic drums, you're kind of SOL. They actually make mute pads that you can get custom made to put over the drum.
Yeah, they do.
But it's still nowhere near as quiet as digital.
No. But the biggest complaint about digital from me and the majority of the drummers I know is the lack of feel compared to a normal drum head.
True. Yeah, it doesn't have so a lot of these pads they have typically in the digital ones, they're just like these solid rubber pieces.
Yep.
And so you don't get the reverberation or the rebound.
I was going to say rebound,
when you hit, like especially for like a snare drum.
Yep.
Like when you hit the snare on a digital,
it's
just like
back.
Just dud.
Yep.
Whereas like so you kind of have to manually articulate the drum roll. Whereas like on a traditional or an analog, I guess, snare drum, it kind of starts to articulate for you. It makes it a lot easier to do a drum roll.
Yeah, and
for example,
there's also delay too, though, and that's the issue that I played on his. Was it actually yours or was it your old landlord?
It was the old landlord.
Old landlord's digital drum set, and I'm not a drummer, but I have riffs in my head, and I would try to lay those down, and they never worked.
Well,
and I also feel like that has a lot to do with the type of digital drum set because you can get like some really because I was saying you can get some high end because I've kind of screwed around. Like I have a few friends that have some like really high end like Rollins and stuff like that.
Rollins are nice,
and there's like no delay on those.
It's like you're playing an actual drum set as far as sound is concerned.
Yes,
minus the feel.
Right. Yeah.
And even with Rollins, they get a little bit closer to the feel because they do actually have a drum head that is still tunable.
Yes, that's true.
They actually have a replaceable head versus the ones you were playing on, or the rubber ones that we were talking about.
And that's probably how.
Yeah, it's like you're just playing Rock Band.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say that's probably how a majority of the ones that people end up buying are like.
Yeah, because they're expensive. I mean, the Rollins. You don't really enter a Roland for less than $2,000.
Yeah,
for a small kit.
Fuck.
Like the small.
I mean, Roland has a few that are like entry level style. I guess it doesn't come with the interface.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like that, and it's mostly just like, well, it's a small interface to where you just basically all it is you just plug your headphones into kind of thing.
Yep.
And it has an XLR on the exterior on the backside for input if you really want to do that.
But you're not modifying any sounds or anything.
No,
it's just what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And so with those you can get into it relatively inexpensive. But yeah, it's in my opinion kind of a waste of money if you're. But I mean, if you're just like mom and pop want to get your son into some drums, but you also don't want to hear all that shit all day, then
that was not my parents. Thank you, parents.
Yeah. No, yeah, same with my parents too. Like, I grew up playing guitar, and like my parents had to listen to that shit all the time, and then I also learned how to play the saxophone.
Oh God! We're having the Simpsons all over again.
Yeah, playing that bitch in the house. Yeah, guitar is one thing. Like you can play it relatively quiet if you want to. Saxophone, you have to blow so hard in order for it to make proper sounds.
Okay, so what we got is that you blew very hard during your childhood. This is a great story.
Yeah,
your childhood blows, dude.
Yeah. At least middle school. Middle school blew.
What's funny is my parents would actually get on my case for not practicing enough because they could tell when I'm not practicing.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "You gotta like get on your shit."
Yeah,
and I chose to do the saxophone though because like I could have played guitar.
Sure.
But my mom always wanted me at some point in time to play saxophone, so I chose to.
Interesting parental choices or like wants for their children. That's an interesting one. I haven't.
Well, she never like pushed it on me or anything, but like I was like, oh, since I have the option to do this now, like it'd be kind of fun. Like since she's always kind of wanted me to play saxophone, like it'd be kind of fun to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And so did that. And I actually got pretty good at it, and I still have a saxophone, but
oh, cool.
I definitely don't play as much as I used to. Like I can still read the music and stuff, but it's now it's been a number of years since I've probably 2 or 3 years since I've played last, and it's
gone.
Like not long gone. Like it would come back to me pretty quick, but like it would definitely take if I really wanted to get back into it, I would take some serious refresh.
Did you ever do any
jaw
brass?
movement is like,
oh yeah,
dude, that's hell on the fucking mouth.
Dude, embouchures suck. Did you ever play any brass instruments?
No.
So I started on trombone.
Oh, you were a boner. That's funny.
In 5th grade.
How did I know you were gonna fucking say that?
I was boning in 5th grade.
Oh boy.
Hey, and I wasn't very good at it.
Was anybody in 5th grade?
I mean, I was exceptionally not good at it. Partially because
exceptionally not good at it.
Honestly,
I was good at not being good.
My frame didn't allow for enough of a lung capacity to handle a bigger instrument like that, and I didn't want to do trumpet.
At that age.
Yeah, I was 10.
Yeah.
So after that, I was advised to go into woodwind. And my aunt had, at the time, like a 40-year-old clarinet.
Oh, okay.
And so this is the aunt and uncle that I go up and see like every year for Christmas. So when I went up for Christmas, I switched.
And they're in Michigan, right?
They're in Oregon. We have our family reunion in Michigan.
Okay,
on the beach and stuff. But this is the family in Oregon.
Where in Oregon again?
Forest Grove.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like northeast. Northwest. Sorry.
West. Yeah. Yeah, if you hop on the max and go to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. I was actually. It's interesting that you mentioned all that because I grew up in band. That was like my whole. Honestly, cars were always kind of there, but honestly, the music was more there up until I graduated high school by a long shot. Because I started off in 7th grade playing drums, moved up to. Well, actually, I didn't do anything other than drums. And then in high school, I stuck that through and was in the drum line. And actually, that was part of my high school career and love was getting to go and perform at the Rose Parade. And then my brother and sister performed at the Macy's Day Parade.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flex.
I don't even say that as a flex. It was just literally the best thing that happened in the first 18 years of my life.
Yeah,
sure.
That's super cool.
And because it was...
I mean, it's all right.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
no, that's awesome.
It is what it is.
It's just crazy when you think about it because I remember that, everybody knows it was big because it's televised and everything, but then you get there and the lady that's announcing right before the parade starts is like, okay, just a little mind blow that I'm going to drop on you right now. There's 1 million people on the streets.
Thanks
no pressure or anything. Zero pressure. Just don't fuck up. In front of 1 million people.
The worst one was in New York. There's several million.
Yes.
And during the TV spotlight, somebody dropped a flag in the color guard on live television in front of 100 million people.
Jesus.
I'm glad I wasn't in that one. Anyways, but
oh my god.
No, it's drums are such a wide and interesting thing because not only is there electric and acoustic, but there's also any other kind of percussion instrument on top of the stuff that I did in high school.
Yeah, of course.
Which I went around. I was bass drum at one point. I was tenors, which is the 4 that go out in front of you at one point. That gets hard because those are some interesting ones with carrying 35 plus pounds of weight, 1.5 feet out in front of you, plus playing God knows how much music, etc. But what they found out that's kind of interesting with those and with drumming in general is that when you're using those drums and marching like a full field show, for instance, 10 minutes, you are actually effectively showing the same physical signs as a marathon runner halfway through a marathon by that point because you've been moving at effectively full sprints, forward, back, left, right, and sideways, while playing music and flailing your arms.
And carrying the weight.
Yeah, so the weight calculation with the calorie dump and then all of that. Damn.
Yeah, they had it was one of the drum.
I mean, I've heard that shit's hard. Like
it is. Like it.
I know a few people that were in the drum line, and yeah, they're like, dude, this shit's exhausting. I'm like, you're just playing drums. Stop being a bitch. But I remember one time they had me put it on, and that shit's heavy as hell.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not a big guy.
Yeah, you're like, I ain't fucking carrying this. Fuck that.
And I'm not a big guy either.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was quite a bit, and I mean, there was occasions that I almost more likened the drum line to a track team, just because in order to be physically fit enough, we honestly, before we even did any run-throughs, we would go run.
Yeah.
We would run, and we would do push-ups. We would do actually like full-on calisthenics before we literally picked up music.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't, we wouldn't get in shape enough to actually perform it.
Yeah, so like I was on the ski team in high school, and right before we would go into the weight room and like do conditioning and stuff like that, the fucking band team was in there.
Okay.
Getting prepped. So I mean, I understand like what you were just talking about is like getting prepped for it is like, dude, they did full on workouts to be able to like, and I'm like, what the hell is the band? But like, and then like,
it's one of those things you don't know or think about unless you know.
Yeah, and then like, but I remember the one time I like put the drums on, and I was like, oh, okay, I can maybe see some merit to this.
You're like, okay, not as much band nerd as I thought.
Yeah. Holy shit, though, but when I was in undergrad and college in Idaho, the fucking band kids that like played for all the football games and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Marching band. Those people party hard.
Oh yeah. Oh,
my God.
Even in fucking high school, we did the same thing. Because the college is the same way. You're forced to do the games. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And so half the time you don't want to be there, so you just fucking dick around.
Oh, dude, I was blown away because when I first went to undergrad, I was roommates with this girl that was a dance major. And so the dance majors and the music majors did a lot of stuff together as far as their performances go on campus.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so I met a lot of music people. And so we went to a lot of their parties and sometimes. And I went to a lot of different types of parties throughout the years. And those people were the rowdiest group of people I ever met. I was like, how the fuck are half of these people not dead right now? Not like because like drug related, but just like the dumb shit they would do. Like one night they had just went to the store that day and got like a brand new bag of like the big ass bag of rice, like the 25 pounders that you get at Costco or whatever.
Okay.
And we walk in the door and they're like, hey, how's it going? Want to take a shot? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. We take a shot of like whatever the fuck it was. Probably, I don't even know, maybe vodka, whatever. Anyways, then like 5 minutes later, someone gets picked up voluntarily and thrown onto the dining room table, smashes it, and then they like literally someone on top of that like threw that whole fucking bag of rice on top of them, and it just shattered, just like 25 pounds of rice all over the fucking place. There's like this box fan that just like then got kicked through the screen door, and like I'm like, dude, these guys are fucking nuts.
Dude, pretty much all of my high school shenanigans were at the same time as band or with the same people, because it was the same way in high school. I mean, there was one trip we did that they do every year to St. George for Bands of America regionals that we took 144. Yeah, so it's 12 packs of Mountain Dew and like 22 liters. And between three of us, we finished it all off in 3 days.
Checks.
And we had, one of us went through a wall. We had pillow fights with the mattresses. And I remember a couple other instances of, while sloughing band one time, finding a oven in the middle of the road, north of the school.
I've seen the oven. You showed me the oven.
Yes.
It's glorious.
And then we proceeded to dismantle the door, put casters on the door, get a ski rope and attach it to the back of the truck, and proceed to drive around the neighborhood at around 40 miles an hour.
So why the fuck was there an oven in the middle? Is that still?
I don't fucking know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody fucking knows.
Okay.
It was just north of the school, 2 blocks.
Just like somebody was towing it and like, oh shit, fell out of the back. Nobody noticed that it fell out of the back.
It wasn't even beat up. It was just there. It was like somebody had just deliberately put it there. But then, well, let's see. What was some of the other ones? There was, in drum corps, it's a big thing. Incense is a big thing in drum corps. I don't know why. It just is. Okay. And, we were really into that in sophomore year. And after that, they outright banned it. Because incense. Yes.
Okay.
Not incest.
Incense. Yes. Thank you for the clarification. I would hope that was already banned.
Yikes!
But I remember at one point we decided to see if it was possible to hotbox a trailer with incense, and like to see if you would actually
not incest.
Damn. Hotboxing with incest. That sounds like some south of the Mason-Dixon line kind of shenaniganry.
Serious shit.
Goddamn.
Anyways, I digress.
So we decided to attempt it and see if there's actually legitimate effects you could get from burning a shit ton of incense inside of an enclosed trailer. So we closed all the doors, and I think we lit up about 10 packs of incense.
Wild.
Dude.
How high did you get?
I don't fucking know, but I don't remember it. It was the only thing I remember is
oxygen deprivation.
Dude,
it's a fucking bitch.
It was pretty bad.
It is.
Because I remember then all of a sudden the instructor came pounding on the door and opened up the door of the trailer, and just a waft of smoke comes out. What the fuck? And he's just, what the hell are you guys doing in here?
We were just having a good time. I remember in middle school I hit somebody across the face with a timpani mallet.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've squirrel tapped more people with timpani mallets than I can count.
Yeah, no, I fucked this kid up. It was also because it was like right before band class started. And like technically, like I played saxophone. They like made this rule like you're not allowed to like play other people's instruments or other instruments because
a lot of places
you're not trained about it or whatever.
Yeah.
This is in fucking middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I'm sitting here just fucking around on the xylophone before class. Like, come on. I'm not fucking around beating on drums and shit, like fucking things up. I'm just like ding, ding, ding. Like,
yes, but I feel like there's a but coming.
Ding, ding, ding,
no,
ding,
that's
ding,
literally
ding,
it.
ding.
And so the TA comes up and he's like, hey, you can't do that or whatever, and takes a drumstick and smacks me over the hand and damn near broke my hand.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
So then that's when I grabbed the Tiffany out of my hand and just smacked him across the fucking forehead with it. Just like full swing Tiffany mallet to the forehead.
Yeah. I loved middle school.
Oh, dude, it was great. I was a fucking hell child in middle school.
Oh, dude.
I cooled off a lot, like the last 3 years of high school, but like that, and then like into the first year of high school, always in the principal's office.
See, I just
Miss
optimized.
Woodward fucking hated me.
All I did was I took all the craziness from junior high and found the way to hide it in high school, but still did all of it.
Sure. Yeah, no, I've been with you and AJ when you guys reminisce about the good old days.
Oh, my hell, dude. Me and
it's bad.
Me and AJ.
Shout out to AJ Glassmacher.
AJ, we love you.
Hope you're listening.
I'm actually going to visit him on the 5th of December.
Where's he at?
He's in Tennessee.
Oh, where in Tennessee?
He's in Knoxville.
Okay.
Yep. So.
I heard there's a semi-sketchy place.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Every relatively large city has a sketchy place.
Yeah.
There's happy places and unhappy places to every city.
True.
Exactly.
We have a couple of them.
Yeah. Magna.
Well, I was going to say West Valley and also fucking Rose Park.
Just like west of the 15.
Basically, don't go west.
Yeah.
Why would you go west?
I mean,
unless if you're going way west of Tooele and then you're going there for racing.
Yeah.
I was born in Rose Park. It was great.
I played golf in Rose Park.
Yeah. No, what's funny is...
I don't know if I've ever been there.
I got so...
What, Rose Park in general?
Yeah.
It's
like right there.
That way.
So if you go over the 6 North...
Yep.
You're literally landing right in Rose Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been there.
Their golf course is actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever crossed that side of the 15 in that particular area.
You don't need to.
There's only residential. There's really nothing else.
Because, like...
Yeah. Residential and also just gas stations and crackheads.
Yep, pretty much.
Cool.
And
yeah, that's probably why I've never been there.
You have no reason to. Yeah.
What's weird is I've gotten so numb to Utah because when I was working at Package Runner, I would end up walking around West Valley at like 3 a.m. all the damn time. So
yeah, because that's where your business was.
Yep.
And now we're currently designing a high-end apartment complex in West Valley.
I know. Right across from where Package Runner is.
Yeah, where the fucking Walgreens is.
Oh, dude, I can't. There was several.
Is that where John Paris is? Are they knocking down John Paris?
No.
John Paris
Furniture?
They're not knocking it down. It's next door to it, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. Are they now defunct? They've been going out of business for quite some time.
I swear every furniture and mattress store in Utah goes out of business every 2 years.
Yeah, because Amazon exists.
I know. Well, no, what I'm saying is they go out of business every 2 years and then they're back the next year.
Oh, are they? Funny.
Yeah. There's a store up in Ogden that I think's closed 8 times now.
What's the one they advertise that they're on Road Redwood? It's what's the fucking name?
I know what you're talking
We're
about.
on Road Redwood.
I just can't think of the damn name.
Internet. You're good at pointing out things that are wrong. Help us out.
I know.
What's the fucking furniture place on Road Redwood?
If you answer it correctly, you get a yee-haw. That's about all you get.
You get a shout out on our next recording for sure.
Mm-hmm. But the rest of us can't remember it.
Yeah.
I haven't lived here long enough to even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. It's just really like they would have like an older gentleman wearing like red flannel and a cowboy hat with glasses, and like a younger dude wearing basically the same shit.
A younger dude wearing basically the same shit.
Basically.
Okay.
Oh, man. What the fuck was it?
They
had
Office Warehouse, Olympia, Soretta, Contempo, Applied, The Warehouse.
It sounds.
Or were they called Furniture Warehouse on Road Redwood?
I think it might be.
John Paris, Malarm.
We're getting like really into like the Utah culture now.
All of a sudden, this went from music
Rent,
to Utah culture in 3.5 seconds.
Granite, The Warehouse.
I want to say it was like Furniture Warehouse is what they were called.
I think so.
They went out of business a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, fuck them then.
Wow.
I mean, right? I mean, they had similar advertising cheekiness as Shane Company.
Huh? And in random news, I just got followed by Polished Goose.
Huh?
I was really hoping you were about to say Polished Gooch.
That's a different page.
Yeah.
Let's see what Polished Goose is. Oh, it's an auto detailing service. Interesting.
I just got like spam liked on my fucking Instagram by who was it? Hold up. Constant Detail. So shout out to Constant Detail up in the UK.
I got that today on my 6 posts from
6 posts?
That's all I have on
that's all he
Instagram.
has.
Oh, yep.
But you're tagged in a bunch of shit.
Like 4 times more than I have posted.
Yeah.
Migraine traveling.
Migraine?
No, my M-Y. Green.
Oh, Migraine.
Yeah.
Huh.
They have 2,400 followers. I mean, okay. But it's like a bunch of tropical shit.
They're thirsty.
Yeah.
They're thirsty for all the follows.
That's fine. I mean, you can like my stuff and follow me.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. Anyways, we were talking about music at one point.
Yes, we were. And then we went to Utah culture. And
we
then
fucking just...
Wow, real derail.
Went right off the rails.
Welcome to our Wednesday, everybody.
This is what happens when Justin is overworked and Jordan and I are drinking. So.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll get us back on track.
Go.
Well, we were talking about like band geek shit.
Yeah.
But originally it was just drums.
Yeah, we're going to deter.
But it can go to anything. Whatever.
We're going to deter from band geeks and get back to real music.
How about
just fucking
how about this?
Ouch.
How about this? What have you all been listening to recently?
My Spotify playlist of songs I like.
Oh yeah, which consists of
just a whole bunch of shit.
Okay.
So
literally, okay. So it can be like one song, it'll be country music. Next, it'll be like trap music.
Ooh, that's a fucking departure.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like. Literally, I'll listen to like a ton of different stations and playlists and stuff like that. And just if I hear something I like, I just like it.
Okay.
So then like when I go to my like songs, it's just like a mishmash of just random shit.
So has there been a recent artist that you've been getting into? Like
Getting into more, I guess, just because a majority of my Spotify playlists or my like songs is Kip Moore. He's a country artist.
Cool.
And he's more of like a rock country artist.
I could fuck with that.
And
you should send me some.
Yeah, he's good, but basically he when I first got Spotify and I hit like download, it downloaded like all of his fucking albums.
Interesting.
And so like almost 90% of the shit that I have liked are like all of his. So when I hit shuffle play on the like songs, like that's almost all I hear are his songs.
Nice.
So then like for a while I was listening to different stuff like here and there and whatnot, and liking different things and whatnot. And then like for a while there I was on a Motley Crue kick because I had saw the documentary. Or the
was
movie,
it good? I haven't
Dirt,
seen it.
The Dirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's good.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, you should watch it. It's good.
I have Netflix now.
Or like when I watched the fucking Queen movie, what is it, Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Yep.
I listened to Queen just got on this weird little fucking Queen kick
Sure. I think a lot of people did.
For a few weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like listened to like Motley Crue there for like probably like a month and a half or just.
Well, okay, so people that are listening to this are probably likely friends of mine and Justin's and yours, but people know me. They probably know that I'm a fan of the Foo Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The way I got into Foo Fighters, like I had heard of like a few of their songs. I heard their song "Walk," which I really loved. But there's a documentary that they produced themselves called "Back and Forth," which they produced coinciding with their album "Wasting Light" back in 2011.
Okay.
And that's the start of them going like back to tape and recording on no digital. It's just their sound. But that documentary was basically their history and talking about the band breakups that they've had. They talked about Dave and Nirvana and all this other stuff. And watching that along with Sound City, which came out shortly after I watched Back and Forth, that's what got me into Foo Fighters, actually. Believe it or not, was a documentary.
Gotcha. Okay.
Really solid documentary. I urge everyone listening to go give it a go. It's called Back and Forth.
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
No doubt. Yeah, no, they're good.
I'll give it a watch because I like shit like that.
Yeah, no, it was
Same.
produced really, really well. And actually, what's interesting is on that album, Wasting Light, is produced by Butch Vig, who is in the band Garbage. But he also produced Nirvana's Nevermind.
Gotcha.
So he produced that record, and there's a song on that record called "I Should Have Known," and there's the bass player, like the full Foo Fighters, played all the songs, but there's this middle eighth section with Chris Novoselic, who was the bassist in Nirvana. So there's kind of like this on that song in particular. There's heavy like Nirvana, Kurt vibes.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic record, actually. It's one of my favorite records of all time. And as far as documentaries go, Back and Forth is one I keep on going back to. So, and it's just produced really, really well. And like the way the director, directed where the film takes you is really interesting, I think. And they do it in a really good way. So, Back and Forth, Foo Fighters. Go check it out. Maybe it'll change your life. It changed mine.
Okay, great.
I actually have a documentary recommendation too. Have you ever seen Iron Maiden's Flight 666?
I have not.
That's an awesome one.
I didn't know that exists, but I want to watch it because I like Iron Maiden.
Okay,
for sure.
The reason with this is when they came out with their Somewhere Back in Time album, which was it's just a compilation of all the greatest hits. That was in 2009, and this went along with that tour. So what this movie or documentary was about was when they decided to do that tour, they have fans all over the world. They're really, really big in like Latin America and India and all these places that are difficult to get to for bands touring.
Uh-huh.
So they just decided, fuck it. We're going to buy our own 747, and they converted it to carry all the band, all the crew, and all the gear all in one plane. And then Bruce Dickinson, as many people don't know, the lead singer of Iron Maiden is a commercial pilot.
Really?
When he's not playing with the band, he fucking flies for British Airways.
Man, that guy's got to be fucking exhausted.
So he piloted.
No, it's just a bunch of coke.
Right, oh yeah, exactly.
Either way, yeah.
So
all the gray hairs.
I know.
No kidding.
So he piloted the plane for I think well over half the tour and sang and set up did all this crazy shit. But it was considered to be one of the most one of the most groundbreaking tours of all time because of what they did. They were able to accomplish going to I think well over twice the cities that an average band would be able to just because
they own their own shit.
Yeah, exactly. They just fly anywhere they fucking want to.
Well, and that's the biggest bands in the world do that. U2 has their own plane. Foo Fighters, they have their own plane.
Yep.
I didn't know that Iron Maiden did that. That's
pretty sick, though. Speaking of U2, though, they just announced that they'll be playing in India.
Nice.
Which is not a lot of rock bands go to India.
Yeah, Iron Maiden did, but again, the only reason why is because, and U2's the same way, they have their own plane to get there.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's not cost effective.
On the U2 360 tour, which is what I think, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still the biggest tour that anybody's ever done.
Yeah.
They did 110 cities.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it took them a couple years. They went from June 30th of 2009 until July, I want to say 11th of 2011.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, diehard U2 fan. I've been one for almost 20 years. But yeah, and what's funny is there was somebody or a couple people that actually got pulled on stage to one of the shows that they had seen them on that tour 70 times. What do you fucking do for work?
Or what don't you do for
what
work?
Don't you did you sell your business?
I know there's people like that for the Grateful Dead. There's
Deadheads are really hardcore.
Deadheads are something else though.
Dead and Company, or Grateful Dead fans and Fish fans are also super diehard too.
True.
Yeah. I went to Sugar House Barbecue last night, and
is that place good? I've never been.
It is good. I had the ribs for the first time. Their sauce is pretty good. Their meat,
so they're pretty okay.
They're all right.
Okay.
No, I like them a lot. Their pulled pork sandwiches.
How do they
good.
compare to R&R or Pat's?
I still haven't had Pat's.
Okay, Pat's is good.
Maybe we can do a podcast episode from Pat's if they'll let us.
That would what I'm getting at is I don't see that being a problem other than
just us looking obnoxious as fuck.
No. I mean, well, yeah, but fuck that. I don't give a shit. Mostly, a lot of times they have live music.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that would fuck our audio up a lot.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
But it's with R&R, I'd say it's probably on par. It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking good.
This is what I was looking for. So comparing it to the U2 one. So this is what made this tour crazy. So during the primary leg of the tour, the group traveled 50,000 miles, encompassing India, Australia, North and South America in just 45 days.
That's insane.
Performing 23 shows in 13 countries to 500,000 people.
Yeah. U2 360, I do know that entire tour played to 7 million people.
Yeah.
And it grossed $1 billion.
Which is just insane.
What I do also know, I think the Vertigo tour, which is what came before U2 360.
Yeah.
So U2 360 played from 2009 to 2011. The tour before went from maybe the end of 2004, because How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb came out in November of 2004.
Gotcha.
So more or less beginning of 2005. I want to say into the end of 2006, maybe. That they made about they quote unquote made about half as much, but they actually just broke even.
Yeah.
It cost them as much to do the show or the tour as it did to make.
Yeah, touring is outlandishly expensive.
And that was the first tour I saw. That was my first concert I ever saw, by the way. Was
nice.
them on Vertigo tour. And guess who opened for them?
Who?
Take some guesses. It's not anyone you'd expect to open up for U2.
But somebody that's fairly well known.
Someone that is very well known. Yeah.
Counting Crows?
Nope.
Fall Out Boy?
Not in the rock genre.
Garth Brooks?
Justin
Nope.
Bieber.
Nope. Pretty sure he was still in the womb. Kanye.
Really?
No.
My first show I ever saw was Kanye West opening up for U2 December 17th, 2005.
Interesting.
Still have the ticket.
That's
This is just when Jesus Walks was like big. We didn't go to see Kanye, I'll have everyone know. And the audio for Kanye was fucking trash.
Like it always is.
Yeah.
Well, it was at the Delta Center. And so the acoustics were bad. And then U2 came on and everything was great.
Yeah, but Kanye's just shit in general, so what do you expect?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Graduation was a fantastic album, but
his early was good.
his early shit was good. After Graduation,
I'll give him that slight bit of credit.
I mean, he's kind of a cunt otherwise, but you know,
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is our show. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, to kind of finish off mine, the only what I was going to mention was what I've been listening to recently. I'm presumably, probably, I know you're not really, and I don't believe you are. I'm probably the only real like metalhead in the room, as far as I listen to some pretty heavy shit. But
I like metal, but not like super.
You into your
heavy.
Devin Townsend, man.
I do Devin Townsend, Periphery, lots of very intricate bands. They are very heavy, but they're not typically what you would think of as metalhead.
You're
type
into
of
like
genre.
very technical music.
Extremely technical.
Which
Yeah.
I admire. That's good.
Oh yeah.
And so one of the ones which I actually urge anybody to check out, because this is still technical, but on the much more attainable end to a normal person, is a group called Leprous.
Yes, I've heard of them.
Dear God, okay, the lead singer's name is Einar. Probably one of the best single voices I've ever heard as a frontman.
Yeah, I dig that band. I haven't heard a lot of I haven't like listened to them a whole lot, but I've heard some of their music and it's good.
It's really good because they do such a good balance, and probably are the best band I've heard at not really even conforming to a genre. Their early stuff is pretty damn heavy, and then they've really changed and gone atmospheric and everything, but they've still kept. They haven't done that at the expense of their fans, like some,
That's good.
some groups
Yeah.
think. But
Yeah, some groups do some weird shit because they're like, oh, this is what's trending, and then
Yeah,
they
exactly.
fucking flop.
I mean, kind of like the tail end of Linkin Park was kind of like that,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
very unfortunately, and so anyways,
Yeah, there's a lot of bands out there that are whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, these guys are fantastic. Their drummer's just absolute madman too. He actually, his name's Bard Kolstad, and he was actually one of the very first like YouTube street drummers that got super fucking famous back in like 05.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
really early YouTube.
Damn.
And so some of the most famous like street drumming videos on YouTube are him. In fact, I think most of the ones with the most views. And then he just ended up playing through multiple really high-end bands in Norway.
I think you showed me him once.
I did. Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to offer for that.
I know. I don't expect you to remember details, but yeah,
I mean, he was fucking good.
I would definitely recommend that people go check them out because there's some really good deep music too. It's not just that Einar, the lead singer, has gone through a lot of different stuff in his life, and he's the lead writer of the group, and so a lot of it's about what he's feeling, and it's very open music.
Which that's another thing I appreciate too, is because there's a lot of bands nowadays that don't write their own music.
They're not
I feel
as
like actually a
earnest.
majority of them don't write their own music. Bands, like full bands, they're probably on the higher end of like still kind of writing their own music, but like individual artists,
Yeah.
like I would say probably
like solo
on
acts.
solo artists, I would say probably on the higher end, they barely write their own music. Like, for example, like people say like the king of country is George Strait.
Okay.
He arguably is, because he had like the most hits ever, like number one hits ever, but he's never written a single one of his own songs. Not one of his own songs that's on any of his albums or he's ever performed is any one that he's ever written on his own.
Well, look at
all
Elvis.
of them were written for him, and I'm like, so then is he really the king of country?
He might be the great performer.
I was about to say
Yes.
performer, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
But Elvis was the same fucking way, though. He stole old blues songs and then just transformed them.
So was Led Zeppelin 1.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
There's a lot of heavy
True.
blues with that as well. There's a kind of like a
but like
conspiracy
George
guy on
Strait
YouTube that
performed like over 300 to 400 songs. Not one of them he wrote.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely interesting when I see that. I mean, it kind of blows my mind.
But like, so what?
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I love Foo Fighters, because they'll be like, yeah, we write our own songs, and by the way, we're recording on tape.
Yeah.
We're not even like no digital, no nothing.
Yeah.
Just like, this is how we sound.
Which is another thing that is
no auto-tune, no nothing.
Music today versus even like 10, 15 years ago is like, with the way technology has progressed, it's really been able to open the doors to people who are actually shitty artists.
Yeah.
To potentially make it big. And I'm doing air quotes right now for the listeners. It's like,
sure.
So yeah, with with all of today's technology, you can take someone who's absolute garbage and make them sound amazing.
What's her bucket? The Friday chick. I forget her name.
Oh, Rebecca Black.
Yes,
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So whereas back, even in like, for like a strong example is like 70s and 80s, or even I guess any time before that, in order for someone to make it big, and then when they would go on, someone would hear their record and be like, damn, this is good music. They didn't have the technology to like make their shit sound good on record, so that's actually how they sounded.
Exactly.
So then when they went on tour, that's exactly how they sounded.
And then when you go see Katy Perry live, and I've heard that example specifically, actually, people were like, oh, she was actually really not good. Like, well, yeah, what did you expect?
Yeah, like all her shit is literally produced in a studio in a controlled environment that's made to make you sound good.
And that was actually one
with
of
all these crazy ass equalizers and other effects that they don't have access to in a live environment.
Well, and that was part of the thesis of the Sound City documentary, which is a documentary produced by Dave Grohl. It's not about Foo Fighters or about him necessarily, but about this recording studio in Van Nuys. That it is where they recorded Nevermind, but it's also where Tom Petty recorded Damn the Torpedoes.
Yeah.
And that's where Rage Against the Machine is recorded, and where Stevie Nicks met up with the rest of Fleetwood Mac. Like, that's like so much rock history happened there.
Yeah.
And part of the thing about Sound City, that record or that recording studio closed down. They had to shut down. They weren't making money because people are recording albums in their fucking bedrooms or whatever. Or they're doing these other things, and they're like using autotune and trying to perfect their voice or whatever. And part of the thesis of that documentary was, yeah, we have all this technology to make great music, but do we have much more great music?
Not really.
Not
That's
really.
the problem.
Yeah.
We have more.
We have more music.
Better designed music. But
and that's arguable though.
Yeah, well, yeah, it depends on what your definition is. It's better recorded is what I'm meaning. Like the quality of the recording is technically better.
Because technically because the technology has increased exponentially over the last 10 to 15 years. And so like back in the day, there's a couple things. Like back in the day, people go to recording studios because that was like the prime environment to create something like that.
Right.
And then two, back then, that type of equipment was not obtainable to the public at a reasonable price.
And then look at us. We have, nice studio recording mics and pop filters and, in this room right now.
Yeah, that were nowhere near as expensive as...
No.
And the stuff that we're recording on right now is, as far as like microphones go at least, is nicer than what they had back then.
Well, and here's a great example of this.
Out of tiny fraction of the cost.
Oh yeah. So you look at all the things we have today with effects and all the wonderful digital things we have. You can easily create full orchestras that sound almost identical to a live one. It's insane.
They would sound identical
digitally. I could do that shit.
Yeah.
On my drum set.
Yeah, in half a second. It's not hard because it's just amazing. But you look at back what some bands had to do that technically made things imperfect, but worked out great in the end. So, for instance, Led Zeppelin, when they recorded When the Levee Breaks.
I was going to cite When the Levee Breaks earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drums were performed in a hollow hallway.
Was it in the hallway or in the living room?
It was
a
was a hallway, if I remember correctly, because they had to get that echo.
Yeah.
Through the distance.
Well, did you ever see It Might Get Loud?
I did not actually.
It's the documentary with Jimmy Page, Jack White, and The Edge.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic. Like, if you're a guitarist, like if you're a rock guitarist, like you have to see this.
That's a holy trinity, right?
Oh
there.
my God! Well, what was great
Jimmy
was
Page. Oh man.
What was really great. There's a scene in the documentary where The Edge, who is one of the greatest guitarists of all time, not necessarily for his technical abilities, but just for as a songwriter and as a performer and all that stuff. Him and Jack White, who's also one of the forefronts of rock music in today's day and age, them just. I don't even know how to describe, just the heads cocked over to the left and just like all, dreamy-eyed with Jimmy Page just breaking into Kashmir.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, oh my God.
I know. You look at two people that are that high up like that, and they're still...
Their jaws are dropping.
Still oogling over somebody who's now in his 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be like Jimmy Page. Everyone wants to be like Jimmy Page. Who fucking doesn't?
I mean, well, I don't know. You've already missed that. At 19, Jimmy Page was snorting blow off hookers' asses and fucking as many people as he could think.
Oh, at that age?
They were 19.
Fuck. Because I remember his beginning, he was doing a lot of...
Good for him.
Composition work and doing like sit-ins for... like this is just before Led Zeppelin, I guess. What was the actual genre of musician called? Basically... just a studio guitarist.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Well, and he was also, I believe Jimmy was also in the Yardbirds.
He was in the Yardbirds after Led Zeppelin, yeah.
Before Led Zeppelin.
Or that was before, I'm sorry, yeah.
Before, yeah, because that's what 3 of those morphed into Led Zeppelin.
Yep.
So.
And one of my favorite guitarists is Tommy Shaw from Styx.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really good. Like,
dude, that dude is tiny as all hell, though. Like, what the hell? It's just like tiny ass dude with like long ass hair, blonde hair. I don't know, long blonde hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Like blows my mind. But that dude rips on a guitar.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for fucking him.
Yeah, I've seen them in concert like 3 times now, and they kill it.
They come to Utah a good amount.
Really?
I think they've come through several times in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Really? Like in my hometown, they would come through.
They like to group up with other bands, though, because it'll be like Styx and...
like REO Speedwagon?
Yeah.
I know that they came, I think last year they came with Styx and Tesla.
Okay.
Tesla? Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all about 80s bands. I'm all about it.
Big hair bands.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hey, I can do it. I think I think we're all kind of of the same opinion that every kind of music has its place.
Yeah.
And
there's
good everywhere, but
when people ask me what my favorite genre is, I don't give a genre.
Damn difficult question.
It's a hard question because
what I say
every
is
genre has great music. Every genre also has shit music.
I don't care about the genre as much as being able to sense the authenticity and being genuine.
Yes.
Because I'm not a
agree
country
with that.
guy. I'm a little biased in what I'm about to say, but there was a Zach Brown band collab with his growliness. It was called.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Growliness. Fuck.
It was called the Grohl Sessions, but it was only produced by Dave, and everything else was Zach Brown band, and it fucking rocks.
Zach Brown band is actually really good.
I already liked Zach Brown band before, and when I heard this, it fucking floored me.
Because they're one of those bands that is like almost still majority analog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're genuine.
Like, all their shit is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear their voice on the record, that's what you're gonna get.
Well,
in concert.
and Zach fucking shreds,
dude. Yeah, yeah, dude. That
like
guy,
on a classical guitar too.
Yeah,
he
fucking
fucking rips.
Yeah. So that's what blows my mind. There's like even, I mean, please tell me you at least know who Brad Paisley is.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know of a lot of people. I just don't
Okay.
listen to a lot of people.
No, that's fine. And I don't really listen to a whole lot of his music anymore, but like Brad Paisley blows my mind because every single song you hear of his, the solos are also him playing.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. He is like a super talented guitarist.
Okay.
And so like they have the rhythm, they have the bassist, the drummer, the rhythm guitarist, and then him on vocals and him as lead guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, okay, how the fuck? Okay, like rhythm guitar, like, okay, I get that while you're singing.
Sure.
But to be able to task that with lead guitar blows my fucking mind.
I'm about to
also kill it.
I'm about to one up you a little bit, and keep it Foo Fighter related, kind of.
Okay.
Last year there was a project that I know. This is the last thing I'm going to say about Dave Grohl and Foo Fighters for this episode.
Okay, hang on. We're getting that on recording. This is great.
This is on recording. I said for this episode.
The last time you were going to say what?
Huh?
Dude, when you fucking... Hey, so I got a surprise for you. This fucker over here messaged me. All right, got a surprise for you. We're going to do shoot with somebody. I'm not going to tell you who. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And then he's like, a couple days later, I'm like, all right, are you going to fucking tell me who this is or what? He's like, it's Dave Grohl. And I'm like, no, it's not. And he's like, no, I'm just...
What was it for?
I think it was for Lotus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sounds right.
I think it was when we were shooting the Lotus.
It's like, it's not Dave Grohl, or it is Dave Grohl, but...
Yeah. And I was just like... And you're like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm like, you motherfucker. I was like, you got me so fucking excited.
But did I disappoint, though?
Kind of.
Damn it.
Damn it. Like 50% disappoint. Not like full disappoint, but like... But you can't just tell me that shit.
I know. I've learned from my mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes over the past couple of years.
Fuck.
I'll drink to that.
I would drink to that, but my drink is fucking dry. No, so there's a project that Dave Grohl put out last year called Play, and he did a 22-minute jam on each instrument. So that is guitar. Oh, thank you, sir. What a gentleman. Fine, I'll drink to that. Jesus.
We're drinking the fine Lead Slingers bourbon whiskey.
It's so smooth. So smooth.
The logo is a bald eagle holding an AR-15 wielding an American flag.
God bless America.
Oh, fuck. That's great.
And look at the back image.
Yeah, I see the American flag through it.
Hold on. I'm actually getting a picture of this. This is going to be my hashtag goodnight. Hold up.
There you go.
Hashtag podcasting. He did a 22-minute jam where he did the guitar 1, 2, and 3. He did different drum sets, actually. He did bass. He did tambourines. He did timpanis. And the funny thing is, for a few of the songs, he actually transitioned to different drum sets, and this is all in the same take. So he had like little cymbals that like were like between the drum sets, and then he would like hit them like while transitioning.
Yep. So is this some like super elaborate like street show shit setup?
It was in a studio,
but like crazy ass like he's got crazy. Like all these fucking domino effect thing going through the whole room.
For the percussion, yeah, for a little bit.
Like, I'm going to hit my big toe here, and it's going to play the kick drum way the fuck over there.
But he transitioned between 3 different drum sets. He played like 6 different songs, or 5 or 6 different songs, and it was all one take.
Damn.
And this is actually on video. It's the whole video itself, because there's a little bit of before. It's like a 30-minute video. But
no picture didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was really fascinating, though, and one of my greatest...
I'll have to check that out.
I'll link it to you. And actually, we should... you guys need to link me some of the things you've talked about so I can put it in the Shout engine, and people can actually, like, play along with us and like, listen along with us, because I think that would be dope. How long have we been going for on this?
Well, I was actually going to mention, we found out that on music we can talk for a long time.
Yeah, where are we at?
We're now, I mean, we started this a little before, but we're now at an hour.
Well, I mean, while I'm plugging Shout Engine, do we just want to wrap this up?
We probably should. So
we have a Friday episode we have to get to.
Yeah, we do. So the reality is, music is great, and we'll definitely talk about it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things I definitely didn't touch on that I could touch on.
I think there's a lot of interesting things we could touch on. So, perfect.
Well, thank you all for listening. Speaking of Shout Engine, we are on there. They are our host for this podcast, for this fine establishment. But we are also on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. We are on Stitcher as well, if that is your preferred method. And if you have a preferred method that we don't know about, let us know. And we'll
slap that bitch on there.
Oh, what?
Dude, that shit slaps, yo. I think that's the new phrase that people are saying.
That shit slaps, yo.
Yeah, it fucking slaps. Like this whiskey, that shit slaps.
Notice the stunned silence.
Stunned is a way to put it. Guess what? We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Just check out Exhibition of Speed. And we're also on the YouTube. And in case you didn't hear our Tuesday episode, we have the GT3 that is coming out. Mm-hmm. We talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah.
But we have one more car review in Utah after that, and then we are done for 2019. I'm not quite going to release what that review is, but...
I will. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's Dave Grohl.
Motherfucker.
Hang on, you broke your own rule.
Damn it. Oh, well. Anyways, until next time, I've been Gavin.
I've been Justin.
And I've been Jordan.
And rock music rocks.
Rock me.